Okay.
Hello, Julia.
Hi, Jung.
How are you?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm so excited because I get to meet you today. Thank you for joining my channel and thank you for your precious time.
No problem.
All right, so before we begin, I'm sure you've seen my interviews. I always start with some icebreakers. And so let's begin. Number one. Okay, the icebreakers are called, what do you prefer? Okay, A or
Okay.
B. And you do get multiple choices. So here we go. Number one, fruit juice or lemonade?
Lemonade. I
Lemonade?
really like lemonade. Yes, yes. Not crazy sweet, but I really like lemonade.
Okay, that's great. Lemonade. Okay, citrus lemonade. Number two, when you have problems, do you get help from other people or do you try to solve it by yourself?
I usually try by myself first, but I'm not opposed to asking other people. And I'll often ask my husband or a good friend, but I usually try by myself first.
Okay, wow. So did things get done, solved better when you solved it by yourself or with the others?
I think it depends on the situation. I do think there's often, if I'm unsure, it's often good to not only get another person's perspective, but I usually find it helpful to talk it through myself. I can sometimes answer my own question by just talking to somebody about it. So,
Okay, that's great. Number three, on the weekends, do you prefer to stay alone or hang out with family members and friends?
well, that's an interesting question in the middle of the pandemic where we have no choice but to stay alone. We're still we just came out of stay-at-home orders, but it's still very, very restrictive where we are. So we have maximum of 5 people outside. So it's like one person in addition to my family. So we haven't seen people now for such a long time. But pre-pandemic, I would say we would do a mix. We would probably have kind of every other, maybe, that we would have people over usually on a Sunday or go for a hike with them or whatnot. And then the Sundays in between, that we would just stay as a family and do our own thing, play board games or something like that.
Okay, so pre-pandemic, you would hang out with some people.
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
Not every weekend though, because I am a bit of an introvert, but certainly more often than we do right now.
All right, okay, that's great. Number four, pizza or spaghetti?
I like both. If I had to choose only one, I think I would go pizza.
Pizza. All right. Do you like dough, the dough better than the noodle?
No, I think it's just that you have more options with pizza. You can there's more variety on pizza. You can have, if I had to choose one, I can get different kinds of pizza, and spaghetti is mostly the same.
Okay.
That was the basis for my reasoning.
All right. Okay. Number five, coffee or tea in the morning?
Tea, definitely. I do not like coffee. And hot chocolate is my preferred beverage.
A lot of YAs, they prefer tea. So what kind of tea do you like?
Just regular, I like chai tea. I don't like green tea. So just black tea, chai tea. I'll take some of the herbal ones too. I'm not very fussy when it comes to tea, but I don't like coffee.
You don't like coffee. Wow. All right. Okay. I didn't know that. Okay. Nice to know. 6, procrastinate or get things done right on time?
And definitely get things done on time, but things that I find very difficult, I start with procrastination. But I always get things done on time. It's in my nature. I can't handle it when when I'm late for things. Yeah.
All right. Number 7, neat freak or easy on messiness?
Definitely on the neat freak side.
Okay, now we're
Oh,
getting to know a lot about you, getting things right on time, neat freak. Okay, T person, solve things by yourself. Okay, number 8, always have a grocery shopping list written out before you go shopping or shop impromptu.
totally grocery shopping list. I even have a little checklist in one of my cupboards when we use something up, we go and put a little check mark by it. So yeah, no, totally. You can see, June, that I'm a total A-type personality.
Okay, I knew it. I knew it. I had to ask you these questions. I just knew it. It just says it on your face. Okay, grocery shopping list. Does this sort of minimize garbage and also sort of, is this economic? Save you
For
time?
sure. And stress. Because so I start with first I'll make a list of the meals that we're going to eat that week, and then I'll make a grocery list off of that so that I actually have the ingredients that I need to make the meals that I planned to make. Because otherwise, I'll just go and I used to just go and randomly pick up things that maybe I would like and then realize I was missing this or I had too much of that. So yes, for sure, it's less stressful for me and definitely more economical and less wasteful
Wow.
for me to do it that way.
Wow, that's great. Okay. Number 9. Are you a save money style or you spend on the important stuff style? Like, would you spend stuff on important stuff, even though they're expensive?
Yes, not to the extreme, but certainly I will pay for quality.
For
So,
quality stuff. All right.
yeah.
Last but not the least, are you a traveler or do you prefer to stay at home? So are you a stay-at-home person or are you a traveler?
I love my home, but I definitely have a travel bug. So I'm not sure if you're aware, but we were supposed to leave as a family for a year-long trip around the world last April. So, and then 6 weeks before our fly date, the pandemic hit and hit here anyways, and everything shut down. So we've had to not cancel, hopefully postpone our trip. But for sure, I mean, I love to see other places and experience new cultures. And we were hoping to really immerse ourselves in that and homeschool our girls and go see a whole bunch of YAs, all sorts of things. So yes, we do love to travel.
All right. Julia, you get a bonus icebreaker. So this is new from June. You like music, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so would you rather A, sing, 2, dance, or 3, play an instrument, including piano?
I play an instrument, hands down. Dance, definitely not. Sing, I used to, obviously, as part of the YAs and used to be in choirs, and I do love that, but it's been so long since I've done that properly that I feel my voice it's not as enjoyable for me or anybody else right now for me to sing. But yeah, playing an instrument, both the piano and the violin, I do that. I enjoy that. My girls are playing piano, cello, oboe, so we're starting to play together, which is just beautiful and wonderful. So yes, I would play an instrument.
Awesome. Fabulous. Thank you for answering those icebreaker questions. And now
You're
we shall
welcome.
go into the main interview. Could you please tell me your name again and your current location, what you do, which year you were youth ambassador, and anything else that would describe you?
Sure. So my name is Julia Verbrugge. I was Julia Ugama during the YA program. I'm Canada in 1997. I still live in Canada, in the capital, actually, in Ottawa. I work for the federal government. I work for the Department of Agriculture, doing trade negotiations and trade policy, those sorts of things. I work part-time there so that I can also take care of my family. I have 2 children. They are currently aged 14 and 10. yeah, my husband also, we're just, as a family, we love music, we love nature, we love to go for hikes and canoeing and camping. We play a lot of board games. And family tried to bless the people around us, with what God has given us. And yeah, I think that mostly sums up who I am and what I do.
All right, that's great. That's nice to know. All right, number 2, could you just briefly tell us about how the COVID-19 situation is in your current location?
Mm-hmm. A bit strange, I guess. So we just came through our third wave in Ontario. So we're on the tail end of that now, but our government is, I guess, being extremely cautious in opening up so that we don't have a fourth wave. So we're still under very, very tight restrictions here. My kids are not allowed in school. They are doing virtual school still. We can't meet with anybody indoors. Restaurants are closed. Non-essential shops are closed. Even outdoors, it's a maximum of 5 people. So we're still definitely feeling the effects of the pandemic in a major way on our daily lives. Vaccines are going up now, finally. Canada did not have a good supply for a long time. So I just got my vaccine yesterday. So that's improving, but it's going to take us all the way through the summer to get to any sort of normalcy, I think.
Wow. I can feel that it's really strict over there.
It is right now. Yeah, it's tough. So.
Well, hang in there. And did you have a lot of time to reflect over a lot of things? And maybe that could tie into what is your definition of love? What is love to you, Julia?
Mm-hmm. We have, especially at the beginning of the pandemic. So a year ago, there was definitely some time to reflect, I would say. It's, life finds a new type of busy, even in a pandemic. So right now, I'd say I'm quite busy with less reflection time. But one of the things that I was able to do over the pandemic was be a part of a study group on Indigenous relations here in Canada, which in Canada has not been good. It's a very difficult part of our past and our history. And so I was able to be part of a study group that met once a month and over Zoom, and did a lot of work in between to really understand the history of Canada and colonialization and the church's role in that, and just a lot of very difficult topics. And it was with a focus on reconciliation. So it very much ties into the theme of what we learned as youth ambassadors. So that certainly caused a lot of reflection over this past year. It was very difficult, but I think very important. And so both out of just life and the YA experience and my faith and this, I think for me, love boils down to doing what is truly in the best interest of the other person, and really putting the other person before yourself. And that could be in all sorts of different ways. It could be just listening. It could be making a meal. It could be more difficult steps of that need to happen through reconciliation, some of which are very difficult to define. And it could be as simple as taking care of your children when you want to do your own thing, right? There's so many different ways where I think love is putting the other person first.
All right. So for you, love is basically putting the others first before you. Mm-hmm. Which is not that easy, right?
No, it isn't at all.
All right. So, Julia, how did this World Vision Youth Ambassador Program helped you and affected you over this, this 23, is it? 23 years? 24?
24 now for me this year. Yeah. Oh man. I mean, I think as for many of us, the experience was incredible. I do think we probably all came at it from different places, right? I mean, so I came as an 18-year-old with my I already had a past, already had things that had happened to me that weren't great, and yeah, some traumas in my own life that I hadn't dealt with because I didn't realize at 18 that you needed to deal with such things. So I think the YA program for me was so good for me on a personal level in terms of having peers accept and love me, and show that that was not my high school experience, and things that happened prior to that too that's not the message that I got. And so to have that many people just love me was, was amazing. So that's one part, I think, that it really allowed me to begin the journey of working through some of the other things that had happened to me and getting to a healthier place. So I'm always be grateful for that. And first, there's, of course, you'll have certain people that affect you more than others. So there were a few that just really went above and beyond in helping me work through some of that. And then from a bigger perspective, just the idea that we're so similar. We can live together, even though I didn't know you at all. We speak different languages. We look very different. We do things differently, but we love each other, and we can work together, and we can live together, and we can have a fantastic time doing that. Not that there weren't bumps along the way, but I mean, at 18 years old, to have that foundation to move forward with, I think is amazing. And one of the best benefits, I think, of the program for me. And just making the world smaller, like all of a sudden in the news, when something would happen in a different country, I would have an immediate connection and care about what was happening in that country, because I cared about a person who was there that I knew. So I think that also just makes a big difference. Just in your world perspective, and listening to the news and how you treat different people, all those sorts of things, I think, were impacted by it.
So I guess it's just everyday life for you whenever you hear the news.
It does, for sure. Yeah, that was part of it. Yeah.
That's right. Yep. Yes, it was huge. It was definitely huge. All right. Last question would be, how do you want this Youth Ambassador Program, which our program name has changed now to Global Peace Ambassadors, to move forward, and how are you willing to contribute?
I find that kind of a difficult, actually, because we are 200 and some odd people around the globe now with very different lives that have, even more different experiences than we did 25 years ago, with different passions and different talents and all sorts of things. So I think, just like in the program, there are ways for sure that we can work together, because we have common history and I think still some common goals and aspirations in terms of living together in peace with people. But I find it hard to know if there's just one thing that we can do as a group that big. That's where I struggle a little bit. So I don't know. I mean, I think that maybe with all the different talents that there are in the group, that there's a spot for a bunch of different initiatives to happen, so that people can really pursue what's passionate with other people who are passionate about that same thing. And I think even that way we show our diversity, and we can show unity in our diversity again, which I think would be really cool. And then if over time we are able to do something really big, like another YA program or something like that, I think that would be amazing. But I don't know that we can start there. I think we need to start with some like small things that people can get behind, and we can build some momentum and some excitement, and really see, now that we're in our 40s, most of us, what gifts do we really have to contribute to this whole idea, to this network now. So those are my kind of, I don't know, loosey-goosey thoughts on it. I mean, one thing that I would love personally is for my children to have, they can't obviously have the same 3-month experience, but I would love for them to have some of these cross-cultural interactions as well, and just meet, the children of other youth ambassadors. My kids can sing Love in Any Language. They can sing Simunya. They know most of the people in my year, their names. They know the people in the prayer group, their names. They're interested. Like, now for me at these tender ages are like when we can really impact them, and they can make friendships as well around the world that will influence them in their, as they move forward too. So that one is a personal one that I would love to see happen, and willing to help out with that. And then, I'm really curious and excited to see what ideas other people have, and where I might be able to help with whatever it is that I can do.
Wow, thank you. I would love to meet your 2 beautiful daughters soon.
That would be great. Yes.
Oh, Julia, thank you so much today. I learned so much about you and about your thoughts, and hope to see you again soon, face to face.
Thank you. Yes,
Hang in
that would be
there.
wonderful. Yeah. Thanks, John.
Stay healthy. See you again. Bye-bye for now. Thank you.
Bye. Yes.